Hi, welcome to Naturally Curious, Minnesota. We're going to do some winter tree ID over the next couple of weeks because winter is upon us. Winter tree ID is a little tricky because we don't have the leaves on the trees that we would normally have in the spring and summertime and even into the fall as they start to drop their leaves. So deciduous trees are a little tricky to identify when they don't have their leaves on them. So there's a couple tips and tricks to use to help you identify trees in winter. Let's get going. The first big thing to look for when identifying trees in the wintertime is going to be its bark. Its bark can be very characteristic and can be an easy tip-off for you as to what kind of tree it is. So let's take a close look at some bark examples. A lot of times on trees, the higher up you go, you can see that the bark is younger and it's smoother and often more brightly colored. But as you go down the tree, it's going to start to change its color, get a little bit more cracked, a little bit more wrinkly, and may even at the bottom look like a completely different tree than it did at the top. Just like all of us, the older the bark, the more wrinkly and gray and cracked it looks as it gets older. You can also look at the overall shape of the tree. Is it a nice vase shape? Does it have a nice tall straight trunk? Does it have multiple branches coming off from the trunk or just a single one? Those are some tips as to what kind of tree it is. Another way to help you identify trees in the wintertime is to look at the twigs on the branches of the tree. Take a look to see if the twigs are coming off opposite each other as well as the buds, or if they are alternate. So this one, if we zoom in, you can see that the buds are coming off alternate on this branch. There isn't one straight across from the other. They're in a zigzag pattern all along the twig. And at the very end of the twig, there are some terminal buds. Each tree species has unique bud shape. These buds were formed all throughout the growing season, and as they were growing, they were getting food, sugar through photosynthesis, and these buds were forming. They are going to overwinter, and come springtime, when the ground thaws and the sugars start flowing back up to the trees, they're going to feed those buds to get them open so the tree can start making food for itself once again using sunlight. Here is an example of a tree that has opposite branching. All of their branches are coming off one opposite the other. You can see they make lovely V shapes right here. And if we zoom in, you can see that even the little twigs holding the buds are branching off directly opposite from each other, like little arms right there. And they have those terminal buds that are nice and fat on this tree. So this is one of our few opposite branching trees that grow here in North America. A good tip for identifying these trees, there's only a few of them, is MADHorse. MADHorse stands for maples, ashes, dogwoods, and horse chestnuts. So if you ever see a tree out there with this opposite branching, just like this, you can be sure that it is one of those trees, a maple, ash, dogwood, or a horse chestnut tree. Some trees will actually hold on to their leaves throughout the winter. This is a curious phenomenon. Scientists aren't quite sure why they do that, but one of the common trees that keep their leaves throughout the winter would be oak trees. So if you see a bunch of trees in the wintertime like this that still have their leaves on them, there's a good chance that they are oak trees. I'll have another video later about why these trees do this. Okay, those are just a few tricks that you can use to help you identify trees in the wintertime. I'll have several videos where I look at specific trees, and you can be an amazing naturalist yourself. Impress your friends with your knowledge of winter trees. With just a few little tricks and tips, you'll be able to spot trees and identify them in no time. So, as always, stay curious, my friends.